Morning, everybody. Again, my name is Robert Kaitz. I'm the rookie for the employment law team, and as the rookie, I was drawn to talk about the new I-9 form. I promise you it will be brief. I think the reason why we wanted to include it was because it was identified as causing certain issues, which hopefully were clarified with the new I-9 form. There is a new I-9 form at the back of the booklet on the right side that you've all been provided. And again, I will be brief. I'm going to probably say that about 5 times just because I want to emphasize it. We'll have plenty of time for questions. The basics of the I-9 form is that it serves 2 purposes, both to verify an employee's identity and to verify their authorization to work in the United States. It does not apply to independent contractors. It only applies to employees or subcontract. It does not apply to subcontractors either. It's administered not by the Department of Labor, but rather by the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, the USCIS. It's mandatory to be completed by each employee in the United States. The employer is responsible for that and may be audited for it and may be subject to penalties for failure to comply. According to the Department of Labor's estimates, 61 million individuals are employed in the United States as new hires every year. I'm sure most, if not all, of us in this room have filled them out, maybe recently as well. The I-9 form is available in both English and Spanish. However, for purposes of filling it out and saving a copy for the employer, it must be done in English. The lone exception is in Puerto Rico, where it can be filled out in Spanish for anyone who works with companies in Puerto Rico. The new I-9 form was sent down by the USCIS in a directive in November 2016 to take effect January 22nd, 2017. I would hope that for any of the human resources professionals in the room, they've been using it since then, but if you haven't, now's your chance to make it right. Part of the objective was to make it more smart and user-friendly, so it can be filled out in part online using drop-down boxes for ease, just filling it out and making sure it's complete. There's also expanded instructions on the USCIS website. I believe that the USCIS felt that there were certain problems or confusion that was arising from the form, so they wanted to have expanded instructions. Regardless of whether it's filled out online or by hand, it still needs to be printed out, signed by the employee, signed by the authorized representative, and needs to be a hard copy needs to be held onto by the employer. Another stated instruction from the USCIS was that they wanted to prevent the risk of invasion of privacy to transgendered individuals. I'll explain how in a second. I guess the question that everyone also asks when we talk about late 2016 federal directives is, how is the new administration going to impact it? There's no indication that there will be any change based on the new administration. The only thing I would caution is when we're talking about the USCIS, it will be more expanded and might be more aggressive in certain employment authorization issues. Now, I'll be talking and citing to the I-9 form at times. So in section 1, which of course is what the employee fills out, the most important change was, rather than it saying other names used, now it clarifies to say other last names. And the reason that the USCIS gave was that it wanted to be clear that they're not looking for change of first names, which might either lead to discriminatory decisions or an invasion of privacy of a transgendered individual. There's also a change in terms of what documents an alien needs to provide. Previously, if the alien had only the admissions number, the alien was also required to provide his or her foreign passport number. Now there's an either or as opposed to a both. And finally, to eliminate some confusion, there is a checkbox for an individual who prepares Section 1 who did not require any translator or preparer. With regards to Section 2, which of course the employer will fill out, there's a new citizenship/immigration status box. It's at the top right corner. And for ease, if you have someone who is a citizen, you just write 1, or you can just select 1 from the drop-down box. There's also an area in the middle of the page that has a big blank where it says additional information that generally relates to visa classifications, TPS extensions, OPT STEM extensions, H-1B portability. So that's, again, for the employer to fill out based on certain visa considerations. And then in section 3, this is only for re-verification, where someone's employment authorization document expires, or if they've been rehired, if they've separated from employment. I believe it's over 30 days. It's fairly simple. Just need to follow the steps, and where there's no information needed, just a not applicable does a day. So I thank you all very much for bearing with me as I went through this stimulating exercise, and it's my pleasure to turn this over to Larry to talk about the Trade Secret Act. Yes?
Just one acknowledgement on the form, on the I-9 form, on the top right-hand corner, it has the expiration date of 8/31/2019. And if you look at the bottom left side, 11/14/2016. So what happens is sometimes USCIS updates the form, so you'll see the same expiration date, but the date on the bottom left will be changed. So if you don't notice the updates and you submit a form that even though the expiration date hasn't happened, but you haven't submitted the updated one, USCIS can deny the application, or you'll have to redo it. So it's important to go online, literally the day of, to see if the bottom left-hand corner date had any updates. So a lot of times people are tricked up because they say, oh yeah, it's not past the expiration date. But the bottom left-hand corner, there were updates, and then you end up submitting an outdated form. So just wanted to highlight the date issue.
That's perfect. Thank you for tying that all up.